The goal of this video is basically prove the following. I want to show that this curly L1 space, defined as the quotient of the L1 space for all the integral functions, that's going to be complete. Okay, from last video we saw this is already a normed vector space. So we want to show this space is complete under this norm. So you probably already heard about this notion called a Banach space, basically a complete normed vector space is called a Banach space. And we're just going to show that L1 norm is, well, L1, this curly L1 is a Banach space. And to show that, we need this very useful theorem of Lebesgue-Dominant convergence theorem. The proof is exactly this, well, almost exactly the same as what you saw in PMATH 450. So let's go through this fairly quickly. So the statement basically says if you have some Fn converge to F, that's pointwise convergence. So here is the convergence. The convergence is almost everywhere. And usually you cannot conclude anything about the limit of the integral, but if this Fn is dominated by a measurable, integrable function, it's called a g. So here g is kind of the upper bound. Okay, so here's the g. Well, then the integral of f is essentially the limit of the integral of Fn. Okay, so that's exactly what the Lebesgue-dominated convergence theorem says. Okay. So you already saw the version in 450, that's the dominant convergence for the Lebesgue integration, and this is just the generalized version for a general measure space, okay? So the proof goes exactly the same, so I'll go through it briefly. So it's really just the Fatou's lemma applying it on two sides, okay? So first of all, because this f is the limit of Fn, and you know, well, if the limit exists, it's actually the lim-inf and it's also the lim-sup. Okay, so it's basically the lim-inf and also the lim-sup. Okay. So what you can do is that, well, because I have f equals to this Fn, and now I have g is also integrable. So this g plus f, okay, I can just say, well, this is the lim-inf of g plus Fn. Okay, so Fn will converge to F, and g just a constant, it doesn't matter. So I'm just adding something integrable, and it's still equal. Okay, the equality still holds. So again, we have Fatou's lemma. The good thing about when you add a g is that because f is dominated by g, so this f plus Fn is going to be non-negative. G plus Fn, well, g plus f is going to be non-negative. Okay, they're both non-negative almost everywhere, so you can apply Fatou's lemma. So Fatou says the integral of your lim-inf, or in this case, it's just rather limit, this is dominated by not the equality yet, so this is the less than equals to the lim-inf of all the integral g plus Fn d mu, okay? And of course, g is just constant, you just move it out, and you say this is the, here you have a lim-inf of the integral Fn d mu, okay? And you can also do the other way, okay? So let's try to do the other way. So again, you consider f g minus f, okay? So the g minus f is going to be equals to the limit of g minus Fn, and again, because Fn is dominated by g, so g is strictly bigger. So when you minus something smaller, you always have something positive almost everywhere. So here g and g minus Fn and g minus f are both non-negative functions. So let's pretend this this limit is a lim-inf as well. Okay, so apply Fatou's lemma twice. This f g minus f d mu is again bounded above by the lim-inf of the other side, okay, which is equals to, let's say, g minus Fn d mu. And the same thing happens, you pull out the g, and you say, well, this is the, oops, right. Okay, so let's try it again. So this is the lim-inf of the integral Fn d mu, okay? And when you do the integral of, well, let's do it this way first. You're really saying the lim of the negative fn d mu, okay? So because when you want to move the negative outside of a lim inf, the inf becomes a supremum, okay? So this is really the integral of g d mu minus now it becomes the lim sup of the integral fn d mu, okay? All right, so now we have these nice two inequalities, and you can probably notice the g is merely just making sure I'm adding a g, and I will end up with something positive, and it's very simple to cancel them out. Okay, so you can see this g will cancel out the g on the left-hand side. So after we cancel out this integral of g, what do we get? Is essentially I have the integral of f d mu, okay? So on one side, the first inequality will give me is less than or equal to lim inf of the fn d mu. And on the other side, I'll have is greater than or equals to the lim sup of the integral fn d mu, okay? But lim inf is always less than lim sup, so this is less than lim sup. So everything is equal, okay? Every inequality is actually equality, so lim inf and lim sup are the same, and they have to be equals to limit, okay? So the integral of f d mu is now just equals to the limit of these integral, okay? All right, and in particular, if you want to look at the integral, now we prove this, the limit is the limit of the integral, okay? So the integral of the absolute value of this f, okay, by the same argument is just equals to the limit of the integral of their absolute value, okay? The absolute value of fn d mu. And because, again, by the dominated, these fn are all bounded above by this g, which is non-negative function. So this is bounded above by the one norm of g, okay, or the integral of g, okay. So this is a constant that doesn't depend on n, and when you take the limit, every term is bounded above, so the limit has to exist, okay. So you know this limit exists and it's bounded, so it's not infinity. So that tells you f is actually an L1 function. So let's don't use the curly yet. So this is a L1 function. Okay, so L1 of mu. Okay, so this proves the Lebesgue dominated convergence theorem.